Hi, this is Dr. Schuler, and I am making this video for students who were not able to attend one of my presentations about the summer assignment. You are either forecasted for AP Literature or you have expressed an interest and have not yet put your name on the list. If you haven't yet, I would make sure that your teachers get you forecasted quickly for this class. I started out the summer packet by just showing you what students say about my class. First of all, that it's hard work, but it's a lot of fun. It's the best class ever. They feel like they're good writers. I want to point this quote out in particular. I have many students who take AP Literature as their very first advanced English class they've taken here at South, and they are all so glad that they took it. Some students start out the class, they don't like to read because they never have time, but this class actually made reading really fun for them, and now some of them even think of themselves as readers. The summer assignment, students say that it makes the senior paper easier, which it does. That's why I've created it. And I'll talk to you about the post-its, but also one student said it's okay to like, not love your book. It will get really interesting after you write about it. I also say you do not have to get your book, you just have to get through your book. I use the analogy that great works of literature do not often yield on the first read, just like when you go out on a first date with someone. Some of the most interesting people are those who do not unfold everything about themselves on the first date. They actually leave a little mystery. So you do not have to get your book, you just have to get through your book, and it will, I promise you, your book will get interesting after you start to research it and write about it. You want to be thoughtful about the book that you choose. Over the summer, it is the book you will write your senior paper on. It is also the book that you will give your senior speech on. Do not worry about the project and the paper connecting. That is something we will do much later in the year. Some students do think, well, I am shadowing in a mental health institution, so I am going to read One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But it doesn't have to be that way. I have had at random associations, someone read Slaughterhouse-Five, a book about post-war PTSD, and volunteering at CATS. Someone reading Catcher in the Rye about an angsty teenager entering into adulthood and dealing with some mental issues and psychological issues about that, and shadowing a dentist. So there is no paper and project that we cannot find some connection with. Do not worry about that. Do whatever project you want, read whatever book you want, and we will take care of the connection about a year from now. So, well, actually in April or May of next year. Here are your summer assignments. They're all due the first day of class, and I will walk you through them so you understand exactly what's required of you. First, get the summer packet, either from me or from your English teacher or off the school website. Second, pick an approved literary work of fiction. We do not read nonfiction in AP Literature, so you must get a work of fiction. And if you want to know what you should choose, you can search, do a Google search for AP Lit list of novels since 1971. This will give you a list of about 300 novels to choose from. The other option is to get a bookmark from your junior English teacher, and that list will include, I'm going down here, your bookmark will include a list of all of the works that my students from this year have recommended to you coming in. Oops, I'm going to take this one out of here. Yes, no, Oscar, wow. Anyway, so here's a list, but this will be on a bookmark. My seniors have read these. They recommend them to the students coming in. There's another book that was strongly recommended, and that was Cold Mountain. I'm going to add that here. I've had several students read that every year, and they love it. Okay, so you can look at one of these lists. These works are shorter, like some people read of Mice and Men. It's less than 100 pages, and they say, wow, I still didn't get that book, even though it was short. It's still challenging. These others are challenging as well, though short. And again, it's not about getting it, it's about getting through it. You can do a play as well, and please save these for next year. Don't choose those. Although Pride and Prejudice we may not read next year, so you can, I'm opening that up to you. Okay, let's go back to the first page. Now, after you pick your approved literary work, what you're going to do is go to this book log on pages 2 and 3. Now, as you are reading through your book, I want you to keep track of where the 5 plot points occur. So the first thing you're going to do, let's start here. You're going to record and put a post-it note on the page range of the plot points. And by that I mean a post-it note in your book. So, and before, you can do this little activity here. These first 2 sections, you can either do it before you read or after you read. What you want to do here is just bullet point 3 cool facts about your author or your playwright and 3 cool facts about the historical context of your book. And I mean bullet point right briefly. Okay, so you're going to find the 5 point as you're reading through. As you read through, look for the exposition. How is the work open? How is the major conflict and character introduced? Look for the rising action. Where do things get a little dicey? Look for the climax. Where's the highest point of conflict or tension? Look for the falling action and the resolution. And then you're going to write the page ranges for each of these. Maybe the exposition is page 3 to 45. Rising action is page maybe 53 to 104. Maybe the climax is on pages, 3 pages. Maybe it's page 210 to 213 or something, etc. And where's the resolution? Once you have these page numbers established, take a post-it note, just write, and you can take a really little one. You don't have to take the big ones. And you write exposition on it, page whatever, 11 to 34, whatever you want, and then post that, put a post-it note in your book. Okay, that's 5 post-its to start with. Now, you're going to add 10 more post-its to your book. As you're reading through the exposition, you're going to have 4 bullet points here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 2 of them are going to be a briefly worded significant scene from each one from the exposition, and 2 phrases from significant quotes. And all of these will have page numbers. So you'll be typing, your first significant scene. Okay, and that's whatever that is. Gatsby throws first party Nick attends. Maybe that's, your first one. Then your second scene is going to be, I'm thinking of what else is happening. Oh, we meet Daisy and Tom. Daisy, Tom, and Jordan. Okay, do you see how that works? Daisy, Tom, and Jordan. And then the next one is a quote. And again, it's going to be a portion of a quote. Let's say this happens, I don't know what page this is on for Gatsby, but let's say it happens on page 22, and this one happens on page 28, all still within the exposition. The quote, her voice glistened. Okay, let's say there's a bigger quote, and that's, let's say, on page 15. Maybe you think that's important. Do you see how that works? And then your next quote, your second quote is some important quote. I'm just throwing something out here. But he looked askance at her. And let's say that's on page 22. Maybe Tom looked askance. And you think these are important. Okay, so do you see how you have that? You've got 2 scenes, you've got 2 quotes. You've got the page numbers. What you're going to do is you're going to pick 1 scene above and 1 quote. You're going to put a post-it note on each page in your book of these. All right, and then over here, you're going to write a brief 1-sentence summary of 10 words or less. Okay, brief 1-sentence summary of 10 words or less, and then you're going to work your way through the book log like this. You're going to do the same thing for each plot point. I have you pause periodically to answer other questions. Everything must be handwritten, nothing typed. I have scoring guides for everything so that you know what to do. By the way, everything has a score because the writing is a little difficult at the beginning of the year. But I have a lot of opportunities for you to get masteries on these things. And if you have 15 post-it notes, you get a mastery. If you've filled everything out with the page numbers, this book log, you get a mastery. Okay, here's your scoring guide for that. And I do this so that the formatives and summatives, I give lots of opportunities for you to get A's in the class to cushion that writing that is a little bit troublesome at the beginning of the year until you get to be a good writer. Okay, The next thing you're going to do is write a paragraph. Pick one of these things, a character, a setting, weather, a symbol, whatever. Hand write a paragraph. And if you have a brief one, it's a meets. If you give an obvious attempt with more details, and it's advanced. If you follow the instructions and add 2 quotes, it's a mastery. This is practice. You don't have to stress out about it. Do your best, and it's another way to get a mastery. Next, you have a page and a half of an excerpt from a lecture on the tragic hero. If you underline only, you get a meets. If you have margin notes periodically, you get an advanced. If you have detailed margin notes, you get a mastery. This is very interesting on tragic versus comic heroes. And then you're going to answer these questions here. Just review what basic qualities do a comic and tragic hero possess, and what about your protagonist? Is your protagonist a tragic hero, a comic hero, a little bit of both? How does your protagonist end, comically or tragically, etc.? Again, brief, basic answers, a meets, thoughtful, detailed answers here, a mastery. You can come to class with 4 or 5 masteries. And not to be left out, but on the first day of class, and this is very important, you are going to have a timed write on the work that you read over the summer. No notes, so you need to know the work. Here is the prompt, so there are no surprises. I know students say, oh, I can't believe we're writing a timed write, but remember, the only thing worse than writing a timed write on the first day of class is what I have to do, which is read 100 and score 120 of them the first week of school. So there we go. If you have any questions, please email me at this email address. If you have a literary work that is not on the list, or something that's a little bit obscure or something modern, please let me know right here. You have to get approval for that first, because I need to make sure that there's enough literary criticism. The hardest thing to do is to write a senior paper on a literary work where nobody's offered any literary criticism. That means you're doing all original research, and it gets a little bit tricky. I am here to help you with that. I've already had some titles of works that don't have a lot of information, but I am working over the summer to find it and gather it for these students. Okay, remember that I am here for you. I'm here for you this summer. I'm here for you the first day of school, and I'm here for you throughout the whole senior year during AP Literature. If you have any questions, again, email me. You can also ask your teachers and get some, here, really quickly, on this bookmark you're going to get from your teacher. I also have this recommended here on the very last page. Find a partner, a group of friends who want to read together, and then hold everybody accountable. I had a lot of students who read Brave New World together, or read The Road together, read As I Lay Dying together, and then watched the movie together. Okay, so think about doing that. And you could also ask a teacher, friend, or family member. Ask a senior who you know who just graduated. Any research you do, just avoid spoilers. And I think that is all of it. If you have any other questions, ask me. And enjoy your summer. Ooh, one more thing. June, do not worry about June and July. This is an assignment that is best begun late July, early August, so that everything's fresh in your mind. Do it the last couple weeks before school starts. All right. Talk to you later. Thanks.